Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Welcome to Standard 6. I'm your class teacher and my name is Geeta Kannan. I will be teaching you the subject English. Now, we'll go into the subject. Now, let us begin with the new words. Let's start. Just repeat the words after me. The words are present there on the screen. So just repeat after me. Exploring, protective, disguised, expedition, channel, program, eventually, sung, considered, disgusted, rustiest, distorted, pester, commercial, blackest. So keep practicing these words, children. Now let us go to the next slide. We will learn to frame the sentence. The first word is explore. The children were encouraged to explore mathematics. Repeat after me. The children were encouraged to explore mathematics. Number 2. Tom disguised himself as a priest. Tom disguised himself as a priest. The next word, pester. Raj always pester his friends. Raj always pester his friends. Number 4, consider. Sam refused to consider my request. Sam refused to consider my request. And the last one, sort. Children sorted the books in the library. Children sorted the books in the library. So children, now let's move on to the lesson. Now have a look on the screen. Can you see the picture visible there? What is that? Yeah, it's two types of houses. So, which house do you like? Of course, building. So, you all had a long vacation. So, what do you all do? How do you spend your time at home? So, you'll be playing games, coloring, dancing, singing, and reading books. Yes, very good. Now, come back to this picture. So, which house do you like to live in? Building, as we got the answer earlier. Yes, may I know why? Because it is beautiful and lot of facilities are there. Yes, and it is a new building. Very good, children. Now, let us move into the lesson. So, in today's lesson, let us see what did Coraline explore in her new house. In lesson number 1, a new house. Now look at the screen, children. Now teacher will be reading the lesson. Just follow the teacher. Lesson number 1, a new house. So let's begin the lesson. That was how she spent her first 2 weeks in the house, exploring the garden and the grounds. Her mother made her come back inside for dinner and for lunch, and Coraline had to make sure she dressed up warm before she went out, for it was a very cold summer that year. But go out, she said, exploring every day until the day it rained. when Coraline had to stay inside. What should I do? Asked Coraline. Read a book, said her mother. Watch a video. Play with your toys. Go and pester Miss Spink or Miss Forcible or the crazy old man upstairs. No, said Coraline. I don't want to do those things. I want to explore. I don't really mind what you do, said Coraline's mother, as long as you don't make a mess. Coraline went over to the window and watched the rain come down. It wasn't the kind of rain you could go out in. It was the other kind, the kind that threw itself down from the sky and splashed where it landed. It was rain that meant business, and currently its business was turning the garden into a muddy, wet soup. Coraline had watched all the videos. She was bored with her toys and she had read all her books. She turned on the television. She went from channel to channel to channel, but there was nothing on but men in suits talking about the stock market and talk shows. Eventually, she found something to watch. It was the last half of a natural history program about something called protective coloration. She watched animals, birds, and insects which disguise themselves as leaves or twigs or other animals to escape from things that could hurt them. She enjoyed it, but it ended too soon and was followed by a program about a factory. It was time to talk to her father. Caroline's father was home. Both of her parents worked, doing things on computers, which meant that they were home a lot of the time. Each of them had their own study. Hello, Caroline, he said when she came in without turning round. Hmm, said Caroline. It's raining. You, said her father. It's bucketing down. No, said Caroline. It's just raining. Can I go outside? What does your mother say? She says you're not going out in weather like that. Coraline Jones. Then, no. But I want to carry on exploring. Then explore the flat, suggested her father. Look, here is a piece of paper and a pen. Count all the doors and windows. List everything blue. Mount an expedition to discover the hot water tank and leave me alone to work. Can I go into the drawing room? The drawing room was where the Jones kept the expensive and uncomfortable furniture Caroline's grandmother had left them when she died. Caroline wasn't allowed in there. Nobody went in there. It was only for the best. If you don't make a mess and you don't touch anything. Caroline considered this carefully. Then she took the paper and pen and went off to explore the inside of the flat. She discovered the hot water tank. It was in a cupboard in the kitchen. She counted everything blue of 153. She counted the windows, 21. She counted the doors, 14. Of the doors that she found, 13 opened and closed. The big carved brown wooden door at the far corner of the drawing room, was locked. She said to her mother, "Where does the door go?" Nowhere, dear. It has to go somewhere. Her mother shook her head. Look, she told Coraline. She reached up and took a string of keys from the top of the kitchen door frame. She sorted them carefully and selected the oldest, biggest, blackest, rustiest key. They went into the drawing room. She unlocked the door with the key. The door swung open. Her mother was right. The door didn't go anywhere. It opened onto a brick wall. When this place was just one house, said Coraline's mother, the door went somewhere. When, the, when they turned the house into flats, they simply bricked it up. Now let's stop the lesson here, children. Now let's revise what we have read now. Now look at the screen, children. You can find some questions there now. Yes, here it is. So just try to answer these questions. How did Coraline spend her time in her house? Number 2. What did Coraline do when it started raining? Number 3. What did her father tell her to do? Number 4. Why did Coraline's mother call her inside? Number 5. Which television program did Coraline enjoy watching? What did Coraline do with the paper and pen? Number 8. How did Coraline spend in the first 2 weeks in the house? What did Coraline discover in the kitchen? And the last question, what did Coraline take from the kitchen door frame? Now we'll move on to the activity. Now it's activity time. You can see on the screen, children, some descriptive words are given. The first one is done for you. You just have to write 2 more descriptive words for the given words. So number 1 is large. That means big or huge. So now you will find out the rest of the words. Number 2 is fast. 3, set. Number 4, hard. So this is the home assignment, children. Find out the answer for this and we'll end the lesson here and we'll be continuing the lesson in the next video. The remaining part of the lesson will be continued in the next video. Thank you.
Good morning, children. Sai Ram. So let's continue with our video of English lesson number 1, a new house, where we stopped in the first video. So before that, let's do a small revision of the first video. How did Caroline spend her time in her new house? Which program did she enjoy watching? What did her father tell her to do? What did her father make for dinner? So children, I hope you remember the answers. Now let us go into the lesson. Again, we'll start from the new words. So just say after me. Let's start. Shrugged, pattering, blurring, disgusted, asleep, snoring, scuttle, recite, intensely, dashed, cast, distorted, gathered, whispering, commercial. Now let's go into the frame the sentence, children. Just have a look on the screen. Number 1, cast. Raj cast his eyes down the page. Repeat after me. Raj cast his eyes down the page. Good. Number 2. Intensely. The fire flamed intensely. The fire flamed intensely. Number 3. Dash. Ajay dashed his head against the wall. Ajay dashed his head against the wall. Distorted. Her reflection in the mirror looked distorted. Her reflection in the mirror looked distorted. Gather. Children gathered in the garden for the party. Children gathered in the garden for the party. Disgusted. The people were disgusted by the violence. The people were disgusted by the violence. So, children, you can now practice all these words. Now, let us go into the lesson. So, we'll continue from where we stopped. The other side is the empty flat on the other side of the house, the one that's still for sale. She shut the door and put the string of keys back on top of the kitchen door frame. You didn't lock it, said Coraline. Her mother shrugged. Why should I lock it? She asked. It doesn't go anywhere. Coraline didn't say anything. It was nearly dark outside now, and the rain was coming down, pattering against the windows and blurring the lights of the cars in the street outside. Coraline's father stopped working and made them all dinner. Coraline was disgusted. Daddy, she said, you have made a recipe again? It's leek and potato stew with a tarragon garnish and melted Gers cheese, he admitted. Coraline sighed. Then she went to the freezer and got out some microwave chips and a microwave mini pizza. You know, I don't like recipes, she told her father, while her dinner went around and around and the little red numbers of the microwave oven counted down to 0. If you tried it, maybe you would like it, said Coraline's father, but she shook her head. That night, Coraline lay awake in her bed. The rain had stopped, and she was almost asleep when something went. She sat up in bed. Something went. Ah! Caroline got out of bed and looked down the hall, but but saw nothing strange. She walked down the hall. From her parents' bedroom came a low snoring that was her father and an occasional sleeping mutter that was her mother. Coraline wondered if she would dreamed it, whatever it was. Something moved. It was little more than a shadow, and it scuttled down the darkened hall fast like a little patch of night. She hoped it wasn't a spider. Spiders made Coraline's intensely uncomfortable. The black shape went into the drawing room, and Coraline followed it a little nervously. The room was dark. The only light came from the hall, and Coraline, who was standing in the doorway, cast a huge and distorted shadow onto the drawing room carpet. She looked like a thin giant woman. Coraline was just wondering whether or not she ought to turn on the lights when she saw the black shape edge slowly out from beneath the sofa. It paused and then dashed silently across the carpet toward the farthest corner of the room. There was no furniture in the corner of the room. Coraline turned on the light. There was nothing in the corner, nothing but the old door that opened onto the brick wall. She was sure that her mother had shut the door, but now it was ever so slightly open. Just a crack. Coraline went over to it and looked in. There was nothing there, just a wall built of red bricks. Coraline closed the old wooden door, turned out the light, and went to bed. She dreamed of black shapes that slid from place to place, avoiding the light until they were all gathered together under the moon. Little black shapes with little red eyes and sharp yellow teeth. They started to sing. We are small, but we are many. We are many, we are small. We were here before you rose. We will be here and when you fall. Their voices were high and whispering and slightly winning. They made Coraline feel uncomfortable. Then Coraline dreamed a few commercials, and after that, she dreamed of nothing at all. So, children, this is the end of the lesson. Now, let us quickly revise these lesson. Just have a look on the screen, children. So, try to answer these questions. What did Coraline's father make for dinner? Number 2. What did Coraline have for dinner? Number 3. Why did Coraline get out of bed? Number 4. What did Coraline see when she walked down the hall? Number 5. What did Coraline follow nervously? Number 6. What did Coraline see standing in the doorway? What did Coraline see when she turned on the light? And the last one, what song did the black sheep sing? Now let's go to the activity, children. Now today's activity is something new. Write the adverb form for the given adjectives. So one example is done for you. Question number 1. The adjective is sad and the adverb form of that is sadly. You just have to add ly to the following words. The second word is loud. What will be the answer? Loudly. Glad? Gladly. Yes, right. So, number 4, hard, kind, proud, graceful, late, beautiful, luckily. So, there is a home assignment also, children. Just note down these sentences and try to write your own sentences for the following words. Frame the sentences. Number 1, explore. Number 2, pester. Number 3, consider. Number 4, disguise. Number 5, sort. And number 6, escape. Now we'll come to the end of the lesson, children. Thank you.